whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hooker force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā ko nā whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira whakarongo pi kari mai. Hare mai, o Taringa hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
E ngai hore titi, e ngai hore tata, tenei te reo whakamiha ki a koutou katoa, e are maina ki a māua ko tariao, e whakapāho atu ana i konei, i te awa mutu, i te ipurau, te punua pāho tuatahi a te wānanga o Aotearoa, tēnā koutou katoa.
Tēnā rā tātou e te iwi, e mihi ana ki a tātou. My name's Taringa.
My name's Praone.
I am from Ngārua Wāhia, Waikato, Tūranga Waiwai te marae, Ngāti Mahuta te hapu.
Tēnā koutou, raukawa ki whare pūhunga, Ngāti Takehiku and Ngāti Maniapoto. Toi!
Welcome everybody to our first hōtaka of Taringa. Taringa is the name of our podcast, our punua pāho. So this podcast is all about te reo Māori, tikanga Māori, kaupapa Māori, and it's just a way for us to help everyone. It's sharing our knowledge with everybody around the motu.
Definitely, and we're proud to be broadcasting from the bustling metropolis of Te Awamutu, from the studios of Te Ipurau, which is the media unit of Te Wānanga Aotearoa, and just to support and tautoko what Tariao has said. It's our pleasure to present to you some kaupapa that we hope will encourage you to use te reo Māori and encourage your thinking around te reo Māori and inspire you as well. And we think that we've got some cool kaupapa lined up for us to talk to you about, along with some guest speakers that will come in through the various episodes of Taringa. So yeah, ko te kaupapa nei ko Taringa, this punua pāho, this podcast is bilingual, mostly in te reo Pākehā about kaupapa Māori and te reo, but later on down the track we'll be releasing another punua pāho, which will be completely in te reo Māori.
The first kaupapa is kupu. So in this section we'll be talking about the reo itself. So it might be a'o, whakatauki, kiwaha, some little phrases that we use, as well as just talking about te reo Māori and the kōrero that we use every day.
The following week, kaupapa tuarua is iwi o te wiki, and we've got our magic pōtai, and we pull out a iwi every week. It could be your iwi. And we'll talk about some of the history to do with that particular iwi, their whakatauki, tribal sayings, location, and maybe even some of their waiata, I don't know. So yeah, that's iwi o te wiki.
Our next kaupapa is Once Upon a Timer. So this kaupapa will be telling you some stories, some paki waitara, some pūrākau. Could be Maui in the sun. It could be hine mai into tanekai, but it could also be kōrero from our kuia from back home.
Ka pai. And when we get to the last kaupapa, which will be the fourth week of the month, is Tikanga 101. And I don't want to say tikanga for dummies, but it's probably tikanga for the culturally challenged. But then sometimes it could be talking about tikanga or some of our customs and practices that maybe need to be demystified. And as we go along, we'll be able to have some interaction from you, the listeners, on our Pukamata page once we've set it up. And we can discuss all sorts of tikanga there. So wherever you are, kia are mai o Taringa, or if you're like me, it might be tō Taringa, because I can only hear in one ear.
Ahua turi te rātu.
Ai, tino turi actually. This is the first one, and we want this to be a long line of whakapapa of podcasting to come.
Our kaupapa for today will be kupu.
Kupu.
And we'll also have a guest speaker coming up soon. His name is Dr. Rangi Mataamua, and he'll be talking to us a little bit about the stars and some of the traditional practices that we used back in the day.
Ka pai. Tēnā koe tariao. Now the kaupapa matua of this week's punua pāho is kupu, and I'm just reading on our handy little paper here This will be a discussion about something to do with the reo, the language. Can be or whakatauki or something, a word, phrase, funny sayings. So actually, Taringa and I were just out before we came in to do our punua paho. We were talking about some things we could possibly speak about, kōrero about. Eventually, we'll get to whakatauki, which are our proverbs, and what else did we think we'd talk about?
Get to our kiwaha, our kiwaha slang, colloquial sayings, e rā momo. But we'll get to that later on.
Yeah, and into some of the, maybe some of the grammar stuff that I know some people find absolutely fascinating.
Yes, o, hangu,
yeah,
e rā mea katoa.
At this time of the day, we want to talk about something else, which is still te reo, and we were talking about some of the expressions, I guess, that have become popular. And through lots of use, they've become normalised, I guess. And we're talking about some things that we've been reading on Facebook and some of my previous posts. And we thought we'd talk about, the first thing we talk about was kia ora whanau. Kia ora whanau.
Kia ora whanau mā.
Kia ora whanau mā. Now, when we use this expression, kia ora whanau, we're saying hello whanau or hello family.
Yeah.
But it's not really a correct way, or Māori way, I should say, of using the word whanau. But I think it's because we use it in everyday language that's become...
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's like...
So we like just like chuck a whanau in there, chuck a whanau in here. But
Kia ora hoa. E rā mea katoa ei.
Whanau is a group, and, you know, as a term of address before a group, you would put in before ete. So instead of saying kia ora whanau,
should be kia ora e te whanau.
Kia ora e te whanau. That's not so hard, is it? E te whanau.
Just two more little words.
Exactly. And to remember that, I mean, if you think about iwi, you wouldn't say kia ora iwi, unless the person's name was iwi.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't say kia ora rōpū, which means hello, greetings to you, the group. You'd say kia ora e te rōpū whakamana i te tiriti. You wouldn't say kia ora rōpū. And it's the same with whanau. So that's going to be our first little lesson to everybody. If you're going to say kia ora whanau, no, you're not going to say kia ora whanau. You're going to say kia ora e te whanau. Kia ora e te whanau.
Not too hard.
Yeah, not
pretty
too hard.
Easy.
Pretty easy, but it's those, like the ete in this instance, I call those things in the reo, nā mea iti engari he nui, so they're the little big things.
Yeah, hard out.
And
changes the whole
yeah
sentence.
Yeah, and I think, like, depending where you go, you might get some funny looks if you do the kia ora whanau. And by using our reo properly, you show your respect and reverence for the language, even though it's an informal saying. Kia ora e te whanau, it's not something you'd stand up on the marae and say. It might be something you use after you've met everybody, after the formal greetings. When some other instances you'd use...
I remember when I was at kura, I heard it all the time.
Yeah.
Our teachers, kia ora whanau.
Yeah.
Or anybody get up at kura, in front of the kura. It was just, it's everywhere.
Yeah. We can bring it back to the roots, I guess. And I know that language evolves and moves with the times.
Yeah.
But there's some things in our reo, the tikanga in our reo, that we need to keep and hold fast to. And kia ora e te whanau is one.
It's one of them.
I think another one that really, really gets up my nose, and I used to say it all the time. Why it gets up my nose is because I think people use it out of context.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Aroha mai.
Oh, yeah. I use that one heaps.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a while to strike that one from my vocab, Aroha mai. And I know we use it in place of sorry. And I know some of you may have heard the word whakapāha, which has become popular over the past...
Apologies.
Yeah. Which is more, it's more whakapāha And it's an expression or a sound that you make when you're showing compassion towards someone or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where that word whakapaha comes from. But now it's become a kupu we use to say sorry.
Yeah.
But back to aroha mai. We use aroha mai. And aroha mai, if you were to translate aroha mai means feel sorry for me.
Sorry for me, eh?
Now, if you've gone and stuffed up, why should the person feel sorry for you? Because it was your mistake.
It's your fault, eh?
Yeah, it's your fault. You done that, ao. And kei te hoki aku whakaro ki tētai o aku kuia. And she was pretty neat, this kuia.
Oh,
Tino kuia nei, but she was onto it. And tētahi wā e kōrero ana māua. And we were talking about whakapapa. Whakapapa of Whanau whānau. And anyway, as I was sort of reciting some of the names, she sort of like pulled me up because I got a name wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And I said to her, it just sort of came out, naturally. Oh, aroha mai. And she looked at me and she says to me, me aroha ki te aha. E me aroha au ki tō he, kōrera wātu.
Oh, gee.
And it was there that I sort of, like, the penny dropped.
Yeah.
I hina tore.
Alright.
I hina tore. So she said to me, what am I to feel sorry for? Should I feel sorry for you making a mistake? No. That's what she said to me. And I was a teenager then when she said that to me. And ever since then, I've stopped using aroha mai out of context. There are times when you can use aroha mai.
Yeah.
When you want someone to feel compassionate about, say, maybe something that's going on with you, ne?
Yeah, nah. I'm definitely one of those ones who use aroha mai all the time.
Yeah.
Me taku wohio he, engari kua toka.
Yeah.
It's like, it's stuck at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's making a conscious effort to stop that.
I'm going to pull you up now every time I hear you use it. Yeah. And I'm hoping there's some people listening that I've pulled up in the past. Not like my nanny though. My nanny, te arita rita. But aroha mai, and then sometimes to even add, they do that. Aroha mai whānau. And it's like, we're back to square ones. Firstly, it's aroha mai e te whānau. And actually, it's... So what would you say, Tariao, if you made a mistake or something was wrong because of your doing? Hea te kupu, what do we say?
What do we say? Tātou pai te rā.
Ai. I think I roto i te ao Māori, the Māori way of thinking.
It depends on context.
Yeah.
Kia te mate, kia te raru, e rā momo katoa.
Yeah. So one could be mō taku he.
Ah, yes. Taku he, mō taku tō muri.
Yeah. So that's and mō taku he is our way of acknowledging we've done something wrong. And it's actually how you say it is where where you hear the tone of you being sorry for what you've done.
Yeah.
But you're not actually asking for them. You're not actually
You're
not actually apologizing.
Yeah.
You're actually acknowledging you've done something wrong.
Your mistake,
Yeah. So I'd say if I'd done something and I'd say mō taku he, and how and if I was to add the intonation, I'd say mō taku he. And then the person who you've said it to can hear that you're sincere about what you've done was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in the tone, eh?
Yeah. Another way is nōku te he.
Ia te rerekētanga o ngā meirua.
Good question, Tariao. She's asking what the difference is between mō taku he and nōku te he. I think they're both an acknowledgement of something that is your fault, that you've done wrong. I think one's the ownership, so nōku, let me get into a bit of grammar now, is active emphatic, but it's saying you actually own what has been done. Yeah. And it's in the o category, so nōku te he, it's nōku, not nāku. And that's another little mistake I hear sometimes. People say nāku te he, trying to say that that's my fault or that's my wrongdoing, I suppose. So they say nāku te he, but it's always nōku te he.
Nōku.
Nōku te he. So you've got mō taku he and nōku te he. So those are two ways you can express.
I'll definitely be using those from now on.
Yeah.
Try cut out the aroha mai and aroha mai whānau.
Yeah, aroha mai whānau. Me aroha ki te aha. Yeah, so mō taku he, nōku te he.
Cool.
There's a time when you can use nāku, but and this might be a bit tricky for some of you, but just so I can provide a bit of colour to this kōrero and how you use nāku, you'd say nāku I he ai.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, nāku I he ai. And that's different again. What that means is nāku I he ai, it's because of this, because of me it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's different to nōku te he, which means that what is incorrect belongs to me. So those are some of the sayings, I think.
Aha ko he ti henui.
Yeah. And if you think about it, they're actually expressions you use every day.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, and kwa, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's aroha mai, it's kia ora whānau,
Yeah.
it's in the kura, it's in the kohanga reo, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and it's our responsibility to get it right.
Yeah.
But, in saying that, listening to our punua pāho here, if you hear someone say, aroha mai whānau, don't jump straight on them.
Yeah.
It's not aroha mai whānau. It's how you correct somebody as well, because we want everybody to have a positive experience with our reo. So it's how you go. It's not necessarily, and this is my mother's favourite saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
So, if I was to help somebody in their te reo Māori journey, and that's how you look at it, you want them to speak the Māori, you want them to speak the Māori. You want the language to be correct. And in doing so, you're respecting the reo and our tūpuna, our ancestors. So you do it in a respectful way.
You don't want to takahi their mana.
Yeah, and don't want what we
make them
call
scared or not want to keep going.
or patu wairua.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe wait until afterwards.
Yeah.
And when you've got a bit of an alone time, perhaps when you're having a cup of tea, and I'll have a sip of mine. And just say it in a non-threatening way, in a sort of safe way. Don't do it in front of a heap of people, because you don't want them to get whakamā.
Yeah, harder.
They'll get embarrassed. Yeah. So those are some cool things, and it's practical te reo that we use every day.
Every day.
Recap them, Tario.
So please stop using kia ora whānau. Just add in those 2 extra little words, kia ora e te whānau, and you'll get it all good. Second one, aroha mai. Start trying to use mō taku he, nōku te he, nāku I he ai, if the context's right. And those are our few kōrero for today. Ko te reo kia tika, ko te reo kia rere, ko te reo kia Māori.
Tēnā koe.
Ai.
Tēnā tātou. Kupu, kupu, kupu. Tēnā tātou katoa, e te motu, e mihi atu ana. So welcome everybody to our guest speaker, kōrero o te rā, segment of Taringa. And actually he's just not long got off I nearly said spaceship e hoa. Because you're a star man, te tangata o nā whetū, but he's just not long landed from Murihiku. So myself and Tariao Te Anga are here, and we're going to be talking to my good mate here, Dr. Rangi Mataamua. Kia ora e Rangi, nā mihi nui kia koe.
Nā mihi nui kia kōrua.
Now, you've been doing a lot of mahi around te iwa o Matariki the past few years now, and everybody's been following it closely. Well, I have. And we've had the honour to work with you, te wānanga Aotearoa. I thought it might be good if you just sort of give a bit of a kōrero about your experience, really, e roto i te ao o nā whetū, Māori star law and things like that, and
Too much, bro. Well, tēnā kōrua. I suppose I'm really lucky having the link with the Whanau, actually, because it's helped getting the knowledge out there, disseminating it. So I've been pretty lucky with the knowledge that was left behind by some of my ancestors and my grandfather, and some of the research that I've done. It all seems to line up, and in the last couple of years, been going around trying to share that knowledge. So just, talking to different groups and it's really, it's full on at this time of year. So I thought to myself, I know what I'll do. I'll put it on YouTube and write a book, and then people will stop asking me to go and talk to them. It got worse. It's gotten worse. So yeah, it's been really good. I think Māori are hungry for it, eh? And I think because it's connected to virtually everything, navigation, planting, fishing, whatever, but particularly it's connected to our spirituality. I actually think Māori and a new generation of Māori are quite interested and hungry to revitalise our traditional spirituality, feeding stars, honouring our traditional atua, doing those practices. I think it's going to grow and have a more modern space in Aotearoa going forward.
Yeah, hard out.
I was waiting for something deep and philosophical to come out.
Why?
Bray, talk about the Matariki now. And I know nowadays, and it's really, really cool because, say, 20 or so years ago, if you said Matariki to anybody, they'd say, Mata what? Nobody knew about Matariki. And now, of course, we've got kite flying days and we've got breakfasts. They're dime a dozen or diamond a dozen is one of our mates would say. Maybe you have a kōrero about what did we used to do? What did Māori used to do to observe or celebrate the rising of Matariki?
Yeah, I think the whole idea of what I've been trying to do in the book is, I think it's fantastic what people do, the councils and all the kura and doing things to celebrate Matariki, and it's so cool that we're reviving that, and it's becoming just a normal part of who we are. So Matariki's because it's from here, it's got to be more connected to us than some fat guy in a red suit with flying reindeer, eh? Who gives presents out made by magical elves. I mean, that's, at least Matariki's from here. And I think it's really cool, but I've been trying to push, I think, for more acknowledgement of the traditional stuff. So we don't forget, while we're celebrating with kaumātua balls and breakfasts and kite flying, we don't forget the traditional origins. So my understanding is our ancestors would reset their maramataka year based on the rising of Matariki. So Matariki is part of a lunar calendar tradition, not a solar calendar.
What's the lunar calendar?
Well,
for loony people.
Yeah. Well, actually, the word lunatic comes from lunar. The lunar calendar.
Yeah. There you go, te iwi.
Because all peoples around the world understood that the lunar phases affected people. So most traditional cultures right across the world followed the lunar phases, and it was based on a 354-day calendar year. That's how many phases there are in a year, whereas the solar calendar, the Gregorian calendar, is based on a 365-and-a-quarter-day year. That's how long it takes us to go around the sun. 11-day difference. So in 3 years, we're a month out. And so what they would do at this time of year is they would wait for the alignment of Matariki to the Tangaroa moon before they would celebrate Matariki. And because Tangaroa. So we've been... Bro, so what we've been trying to do, we've been trying to smash that calendar, the Maramataka Māori, into the solar calendar and say, Pipiri is June. Pipiri's not June. Pipiri follows the lunar phases. So we're usually too early and we're having these awesome celebrations and it's not even in the sky sometimes.
Yeah.
The other problem is you don't celebrate the whole month traditionally because there's nights in the month like kore and whiro and tamatea. Those aren't good nights to be doing stuff like that. So they would wait for the time and then they'd do a particular ceremony where they would read the stars, they would release the dead of the year and feed Matariki. And that's something I'm hoping that we can kind of bring back, eh?
Why did they choose the pō of Tangaroa to look at the stars?
Because that's when the lunar phase rises to its most productive and prosperous time of the lunar calendar.
Oh, okay.
That's when things are good. And right from Tangaroa, the first Tangaroa, there's 4 Tangaroa nights and it goes to Orongo, Otane, and it ends at Mutu Whenua. So it's about a 7-8 day period depending upon the lunar phases for that year that you celebrate. And then you finish at Mutu Whenua, you don't celebrate into whiro.
Right.
Otherwise it's Whiro might turn up to your party.
I just had to put that, the old Darth Vader breathing in there. Now, eho, 7 stars, 9 stars.
Okay, I knew you were going to ask this. Kei a koe te tikanga. That's honestly what I think. I'm not about to say 7 stars or 9 stars. My grandfather in his manuscript in the year 1898 records 9 stars and positions them where they are and says why they're there. The only person that has recorded 7 stars, and this is funny, I hear a lot from different iwi, they say, no, we have 7 stars here, 7 stars here. And I've been looking for a record of those 7 stars in those iwi, and there isn't one.
Yeah.
The person who recorded 7 stars was another Mātātua gentleman, Hāmiorapio, gave those names to Best. And because Best put them out, everyone's saying 7 stars, but there's no reference to 7 stars other than Hāmiorapio.
Right.
So I have 9 stars. I've been laughing, I was saying in Christchurch last night. I think if I was a Pākehā, I think people would probably accept it a little bit more, other than me being Māori, because they think, no, that's a tūhoi version.
Yeah.
Well then, the 7 stars is a Ngāti Awa version. It's because I think Best put it out that Māori, we're unusual people sometimes.
Yeah.
We're quite willing to accept the Pākehā saying it, but not another Māori. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But 9 for me, they've all got a purpose, all got a reason. And I'm very grateful that you coined the phrase Te Iwi o Matariki, because that's awesome. That's starting to blow up. I think that's awesome.
I think what a lot of people don't know is regarding, yourself, and there's some things they shouldn't know about you. But, it gets to Matariki time and everybody's into the stars and Matariki, and then when it's over, that's it. But I know for myself, knowing you, is that, you follow the stars and the moon through the whole year. So it's not just Matariki time that, you're looking at the whetū. And that's probably something people don't know about you. They just think, oh, he's just researching, and But it means the Māori star lore is imbued within you because of your karaua, and you have a passion for it.
Yeah, Matariki's 1 star of 1,000. And so we're just so fixated on Matariki because of it was such an important star. And there's so much, information going on about Matariki. And it has blown up. But, yep, it's 1 of 1,000. And I think there is a big difference between people that practice and people that study. As you know, you can study something until the cows come home, but it's only until you start to practice it that you start to realise that practitioner knowledge is something completely different. But, yeah, I spend most clear mornings, I was outside one morning standing by my tree watching different star clusters, and my neighbour goes for an early walk and I was leaning next to the tree and she come past and I went,
Oh, she?
Yeah. She come past, I went, kia ora. And she goes, ah! And the dog started barking at me. She goes, what are you doing? I said, oh, looking at stars. She's going, ho.
What are some of the traditional practices around Matariki?
The umukohukohu whetū, so cooking a kai for Matariki. And when it rises, just before sunrise, you uncover the oven and the steam rises and feeds Matariki. That will ensure Matariki will come back to you year after year and bringing you all the goodness for the next year. I reckon that's the easiest one to do. That's the easiest way to acknowledge Matariki, is to go out and cook a kai and feed that star. And the other big one, and the one we forget all the time, is farewelling our dead. So I think when Matariki would rise, they used to call out the names of the people that had died for the year gone by. And you'd actually call their names out and weep and cry and remember them, because that's a moment that they get cast into the sky as stars. I think that's such a cool thing. What happened, is when colonisation, it's pulling back all the layers of colonisation, because that's just so imposing. We don't realise it, but even as Māori now, we live as Westerners. We don't have that connection to the environment, because when we're hungry, we go to pack and save.
I'm a countdown person.
Well, that's who we are. We don't need that environmental knowledge, well, so we think. And so it doesn't mean as what it used to. It's not about our survival, and we're estranged from our environment. And so going back to our environment, I think that's the holy grail for me.
Yeah.
The holy grail for me is, and I think it's the future of Māori knowledge, is the interface that exists between traditional knowledge and Western science, and working in that space, because our knowledge is science. You don't travel that ocean that big and not know where you are and what you're doing. So I think if we can weave those two spaces together, there's benefits for us. Yeah. So for me, I think that's it. And, it may seem really weird to people that we're feeding stars and mourning our dead when the stars rise. But being involved in that process, it awakens something else within us as Māori. That spiritual dimension that, without upsetting the whole of Christianity, but we have been suppressed by the colonisation in terms of religion.
Yeah.
And I think by stripping that back, that reconnects us to who we were in our environment. And it may seem weird, but I shed a few tears when Matariki rises for remembering those who have died in the last year, and I feed it. Then have a big party.
Kia ora, just reflecting on the, people might think it's weird and heathen and pagan. We practice ceremonies and things and, celebrate festivals that aren't ours. We've made them ours, and because they've been normalised, such as Easter and Christmas, things like that, it's normal. So I think, a lot of what you're doing, the mahi you're doing and we're doing, is getting people to believe in what our tupuna done, and as you said, reconnect with those rituals that our tupuna performed. And in essence, it's about reviving whakaaro Māori, tirohanga Māori.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it, you think it's weird, feeding stars. How weird is that? Well, how weird is it following a rabbit that lays chocolate eggs? What's that about? But that has just become part of our normalised culture. I'd like to think Matariki could be that. The other good thing about it, it doesn't have connotations, when you say treaty, straight away there's just, you're just wanting more, and it's just all about that, and it just becomes a fight.
Yeah.
But if you say Matariki and winter solstice and celebrating the year, well, everyone understands that, so it doesn't have that tension. Yeah. But in saying that, it'd be good to kind of do it when it's in the sky at the right time and revive some of the traditional stuff.
Kia ora. And saying that, I think we've given everybody a taste. E mihi ana kia koe te hoa. And if you want to know more, I'll promote Rangi's book, Tana Puka Puka, Matariki. What's your book called again?
Matariki, the Star of the Year.
Matariki, the Star of the Year.
Coming out in Māori and Mahuru Māori.
Cool. Right.
Coming out in Te Reo Mahuru Māori. E mihi ana e hoa. And where can you get the book from?
Wickkools, Paper Plus, or online with Huia. But it's actually sold out twice in 6 weeks. So it's going to the third reprint in under 2 months. So it's been a little bit crazy, really. But keep buying it.
Nē, kore a rika ngā mihi ki a koe.
Kia ora, Taringa.
Tēnā koe, tēnā tātou, tēnā koutou e te iwi, I o koutou Taringa. Thanks for joining us. And Rangi will be catching his spaceship very soon. And we enjoyed having our kōrero. E hoa, e mihi ana e taunaki ana i nā mihi a tari au ki a koe, tari au te whetū. E mihi ana ki a tātou katoa, tēnā tātou.
Kia ora.
Kia ora anō tātou, welcome to Waiata of the Week, where we will present to you some of those old-time greats, such as Tai Aroha. So Tai Aroha is this week's Waiata, and this Waiata there's a bit of history with this Waiata that not many people know about. It actually sprung from a whakaaro while Keretirau tangata was carving the wharenui at Fairfield College. And from what I remember, from what Kiriti told me, while he was i aia whakairo ana i te whare, ka pupu I roto I aia te aroha.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so he was carving the whare and he was just overcome with emotion with aroha for the whare, and I think the kōrero in the whare. there's a big connection with whare tupuna and a house. I mean, you think of your home. Well, I'd hope you think loving thoughts. And he had all these emotions, and he wrote them down like a poem, I guess, and he gave them to Papa Wharehuia Milroy. And he asked Papa Wharehuia to put kupu Māori to his kupu Pākehā. And I know a lot of people, we acknowledge Wharehuia as the composer of the waiata, but that's a bit of backstory. There's a bit of a marriage there between te kupu Pākehā me te kupu Māori. I've seen the kupu Pākehā, the English, and even though it's written in English, the philosophy behind the words is Māori, is whakaaro Māori. Yeah. So Wharehuia, Papa Wharehuia, he put the kupu Māori, the Māori lyric, and then Kiritsi took the waiata, and then some others contributed to the rangi of the waiata. And a waiata was born, and it's probably one of the most popular contemporary waiata.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Not just in Waikato.
Yeah, it's a nice sort of go-to waiata for all situations. I mean,
any occasion, eh?
Yeah, and I mean Aroha is universal. It seems to be one of the waiata that te wānanga Aotearoa has an affinity with and likes to claim. And even before I even found out it, because I used to only hear the wānanga sing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was te wānanga Aotearoa that popularised the waiata. And so I always thought, it's a wānanga song.
A wānanga song, eh?
Te wānanga Aotearoa. But so that's the whakapapa of the waiata. Sit back, are mai o koutou taringa, and listen to Tai Aroha. Aroha anō he wai, he pupu ake ana, he awa e mā.
Oh, that's beautiful waiata. We're coming to the end of our first episode of Taringa, and I'd just like to thank everybody for listening. Just a quick overview on what we talked about today. So, kia ora whānau, kia ora e te whānau, aroha mai mo taku he, no kute he rānei, and that beautiful waiata, Tai Aroha. Next week is Iwi o te Wiki. Our Iwi o te Wiki will be Ngāti Rangi Nui, Tauranga Moana, and we will have Ngairo Eruera come in to talk to us a little bit about the hitori, etahi pūrā kaupea, maybe some whakatauki from Tauranga Moana from Ngāti Rangi Nui.
Tēnā koe. E tautoko anau I a Tario, and we've had fun presenting this first Punua Pāho podcast, Taringa. And happy Matariki to everybody. Tēnā koe te katoa. This is the week of Matariki.
Matariki.
The nights of Tangaroa are upon us. So, happy Māori New Year to everybody. E mihi ana kia koutou katoa.
I'd just like to thank Dr. Rangi Mataamua for coming in and speaking to us today as well. E kore arikarika ngā mihi ki aia. I'm just thankful that he came in to talk to us today about Matariki, and hope everyone has a great week.
E kona maira.
Te rawuki.
Tahuri mai ki yo, whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing at the hooker force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira. Whakarongo pi kari kari mai, hare hare mai. O Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody, gather up close everybody. Kani kani move that body, kani kani move that body.
Taringa. He mea tuku nā te wānanga o Aotearoa. To listen to more episodes, search for us on your podcast app and subscribe. Taringa. Whakarongo mai.